Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're taking a deep dive today into something really fascinating, the idea of healing and mercy within the Qur'an.
Yeah.
And we're going to be looking at a text called
Okay.
the Qur'an's Healing and Mercy.
Interesting.
And honestly, I'm already kind of intrigued by this.
Yeah, it's a captivating topic, isn't it? The Quran is a divine revelation, in
Right.
Islam, and it's so important for believers.
Absolutely.
It's more than just scripture. It's a
Mm.
guide for life.
Yeah.
And it offers this path towards healing and solace,
Yeah, I love that.
which I think we can all appreciate in some way.
Absolutely. But one thing that struck me right away
Okay.
is that the source materials is very specific about who this healing and mercy is actually for.
Right.
It's intended for believers, not universally applied.
Yeah, you've hit on a really crucial point.
Okay.
The text highlights this beautifully by quoting verse 17.82, which says, "And we send down of the Qur'an that which is healing and mercy for the believers, but it does not increase the wrongdoers, except in loss."
Wow.
It really underscores that the benefits are intended for those who embrace its message.
Okay, so when we talk about healing,
Yeah,
what exactly are we referring to?
that's a great question.
Is it purely spiritual, or are we also talking about physical healing?
That's a great question, and the text actually addresses both.
Okay.
It talks about the Qur'an offering remedies for spiritual ailments.
Okay.
Things like doubt, wrestling with negative thoughts, and just that inherent need for guidance that we all experience at some point in our lives.
Yeah.
It's like the Qur'an offers a way to navigate these internal struggles.
So how does that translate to physical healing?
Mm-hmm.
Does it suggest that the Qur'an can cure illnesses?
Well, there's verse 10.57 that mentions physical healing.
Okay.
O mankind, there has come to you instruction from your Lord and healing for what is in the breasts and guidance and mercy for the believers. It's interesting because it doesn't go into detail about how this healing manifests.
So are we talking about miracles here? How does that work?
It doesn't necessarily frame it as miracles.
Okay.
The emphasis is more on the belief that aligning your life with the Qur'an's principles can contribute to both spiritual and physical well-being.
Okay, so it's about finding a path to wholeness
Yeah,
through that connection with the text.
right.
It seems like mercy plays a central role here too, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The text explains that the Qur'an's mercy guides individuals towards Allah's compassion.
Clear.
It's about following the teachings and embracing that path to attain mercy.
Speaking of teachings,
Yeah.
there's a beautiful hadith,
Yes.
a saying of the Prophet Muhammad
Right.
that's mentioned in the source.
Okay.
It's about learning and teaching the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
He said, the best among you are those who learn the Quran and teach it to others.
Beautiful.
I find that incredibly inspiring.
Yeah.
The idea of knowledge being shared and passed on is really powerful.
Yes. It's a concept that resonated with me as well.
Yeah.
Hadiths are vital in Islam as they provide further context and interpretation of the Quran and the Prophet Muhammad's life.
Right.
This particular hadith speaks to the responsibility of sharing knowledge
Hmm.
and ensuring the wisdom of the Quran continues to flourish.
But there's another layer to it, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about reciting the words of the Quran.
Exactly.
It's about internalizing those teachings and actively applying them
Yes.
to your life.
You're absolutely right.
Good.
The text emphasizes this point beautifully by quoting Ibn al-Qayyim,
Okay.
a prominent Islamic scholar.
Okay.
He offers some truly powerful insights into the deeper nature of the Quran.
Wow.
He said, "The Quran is the universal, all-encompassing wisdom and the straight path. It's the spirit of life and health, the light of insight and cognizance, and the essence of success and happiness. If you seek guidance, it will guide you. If you seek healing, it will cure you. If you seek light, it will illuminate you. And if you seek knowledge, it will teach you."
Wow.
Powerful.
Yeah, it's really powerful. It really elevates the Quran beyond just simply being a text.
Mm-hmm.
It suggests that it's a living source of wisdom
Yeah.
and a path to enlightenment.
It is a beautifully evocative passage.
Yeah.
Ibn al-Qayyim's words highlight the importance of engaging with the Quran on a deeper level.
Hmm.
It's about contemplation and reflection,
Right.
allowing its meaning to truly resonate within your heart and mind.
So it's more of a conversation
Yeah.
between the believer and the text,
Exactly.
where they can seek guidance and find answers to the challenges they face.
Precisely. And the text underscores that the Quran offers timeless solutions.
Okay.
Its wisdom transcends time and place. offering relevance to people from all walks of life.
Which brings us back to that core concept of the
Yeah.
Qur'an offering healing and mercy,
Right.
specifically for believers.
Yes.
It's about forging a connection with the text and finding solace and direction within its verses.
And it's about approaching the Qur'an with faith and an open heart,
Right.
ready to receive its message.
You know, when we talk about spiritual ailments,
Yeah.
it's interesting to consider what that actually feels like
Right.
for a believer. What kind of struggles might they be seeking solace from?
That's a great point. Spiritual healing in the context of the Qur'an can address those deep-seated doubts that can sometimes creep into our lives.
Right.
It's about finding ways to combat negative thoughts and seeking a sense of purpose and direction.
Right.
The Qur'an can provide a framework for navigating these internal battles.
So would you say that the concept of mercy in the Qur'an is intertwined with this idea of finding inner peace?
Absolutely. Remember how the text describes the Qur'an's mercy as a guide towards Allah's compassion? That journey towards mercy involves a commitment to the teachings and a conscious effort to align oneself with those principles.
Okay.
It's through this process that believers can find solace, forgiveness, and ultimately that inner peace you mentioned.
Okay. This has been a truly illuminating dive into the concepts of healing and mercy in the Qur'an.
Yeah.
But before we wrap things up, I have one more question for you.
Okay.
If someone is hearing this and feels compelled to explore the Qur'an further, where would you suggest they even begin?
That's a wonderful question, and it speaks to the curiosity that this deep dive hopefully sparks.
Yeah.
There are numerous ways to approach the Qur'an.
Yeah.
It can be as simple as picking up a translation
Right.
and starting with a chapter or verses that resonate with you.
Mm.
There are also plenty of online resources and commentaries that can offer deeper context and insights.
I think it's important to remember that there's no right or wrong way to approach it.
Exactly.
It's about finding what works best for you and allowing yourself to connect with the text in a personal way.
Exactly. And I think the most beautiful aspect of the Qur'an is that each individual's journey with it is unique.
Right.
What resonates with one person might strike a completely different chord with another. It's about discovering that personal connection with the text.
I love that.
Yeah.
It encourages personal exploration and interpretation
Yeah.
rather than just adhering to a rigid set of rules.
Absolutely. The Qur'an invites reflection, contemplation, and a sincere desire to understand.
Right.
It's a beautiful dialogue that unfolds between the believer and the divine, leading to profound insights and transformation.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into healing and mercy in the Qur'an,
Okay.
what's one thought you'd like our listeners to walk away with?
If you were to approach the Qur'an seeking guidance or solace,
Okay.
what questions would you personally hope to find answers to?
Oh,
It's a thought-provoking question that might spark a desire to explore its pages for oneself.
that's such a great question. I think for me, I'd be seeking answers about how to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life, how to cultivate inner peace amidst the chaos,
Right.
and ultimately how to connect with something greater than myself.
Those are beautiful aspirations.
Yeah.
And I believe the Qur'an offers profound wisdom on those very topics. It encourages introspection, self-reflection, and a commitment to a path of righteousness and compassion.
This has been such a rich and insightful exploration.
It has been.
For anyone listening who's feeling even a little bit curious,
Yeah.
I highly encourage you to explore the Qur'an for yourselves. You might be surprised by what you discover within its pages.
Indeed, the Qur'an is a gift,
Yeah.
a source of healing, mercy, and guidance for anyone who approaches it with an open heart and a willingness to learn and grow.